In the headlines, insecurity crisis deepens in Katsina as displaced residents flood Bakori. Governor Fintiri visits flood victims in Yola South, pledges support and mitigation measures. Just traders protest planned demolition of shops near railway station. And on the foreign scene, Israel begins daily tactical pause as aid trucks head to Gaza. Good evening and welcome to News Update on Trust TV. I am Dorcas Yakubuzala. We begin the news with security matters. In the wake of protests against persistent insecurity in Katsina State, hundreds of displaced persons, mostly women, children, and the elderly, have taken refuge in Bakori town, the headquarters of Bakori local government area. These displaced residents, forced from their homes by repeated attacks, are now squatting in public buildings and calling for urgent government intervention to avert a looming humanitarian crisis. The report.
Scores of residents were seen arriving in Bakori town, exhausted and visibly distressed, carrying only the few belongings they could salvage. Their faces tell a story of horror, frustration and helplessness, a human tragedy unfolding amidst deepening insecurity in rural Katsina. Trust TV captured scenes of women and children arriving around 5 p.m. on Sunday with no clear destination of shelter, displaced and desperate.
We urgently call on the government to address this escalating crisis in our communities. Our parents, brothers, and loved ones are being killed daily. Our belongings are being stolen despite our best efforts to survive. We are forced to flee our villages in search of safety. Now we find ourselves displaced with nowhere to sleep. Even the places where we attempt to find temporary shelter, security forces are driving us away, leaving us completely helpless.
An elderly man, Mohammed Usman, explained that around 12 farming communities under Guga ward in Bakori local government area have been deserted. According to him, Guda village is the only one still standing.
You see, many of our people have been abducted. We have to pay over 25 million naira in ransom to free them. Right now, we are here with nothing. We have lost everything. Our community have been under attack non-stop for 8 days. Many have been killed.
In another interview, Zainab Yusuf, a grieving mother from Yatsapua village, recounted how her 3 children went missing during a recent bandit attack. Upon arriving in Bakori, she was told that their bodies were found drowned in a nearby stream.
After the bandit attack, my children went missing. When I arrived here, I was told some children were found dead, likely drowned in a nearby river. I'm going there to find out. I have surrendered everything to Allah, who controls life and death.
The escalating violence has also triggered a food security crisis. Vast farmlands across Katsina's agricultural belt are now inaccessible due to bandit activities. In a statement from the Ministry of Internal Security and Home Affairs, signed by Commissioner Nasiru Ma'azu Damusa, the Dikko-Rada-led administration said it is working hard to restore lasting peace in affected areas. According to the statement, out of 24 local government areas under siege in 2023, only Bakori, Faskari, Sabwa, and Kankara still face intermittent attacks. The rest, the government says, have seen relative stability thanks to collaboration between security forces and local communities. While acknowledging the efforts of security agencies, the ministry noted that over 100 members of the Community Watch Corps and more than 30 police officers have lost their lives in the fight against banditry. Several military personnel have also paid the ultimate price. Despite these sacrifices, residents say more needs to be done. While many applaud Governor Rada's efforts, they insist broader sustained action is needed to secure the remaining communities still under siege.
35 kidnapped victims from Banga village in Karanamoda local government area of Zamfara state have reportedly been killed by bandits over their failure to pay a 35 million naira ransom. A resident of the village, Sani Suleiman, on Sunday said the bandits abducted 53 people from the community and demanded 1 million naira per captive. According to him, the 53 kidnapped victims had been in captivity for several months, with only 18 of them able to pay the ransom and were released. According to those who were released after paying the ransom, the bandits killed the remaining 35 captives who could not pay the ransom one after the other in their presence. Suleiman further said that Banga village was currently under the control of the bandits and appealed to the state government to intervene. Still talking security, operatives of the Department of State Services, DSS, and their counterparts from the Nigerian Army have neutralized at least 45 terrorists wreaking havoc in some border communities in Niger State. The terrorists were specifically killed at Iburu village in Shiroro local government area of the state last Friday, when an intelligence by the DSS revealed the activities of the criminals in the area. Trust TV reports that the onslaught against the terrorists in the border came on the heels of an alarm raised by the Nigerian Customs Services that its personnel are under constant terrorist attacks in the town. It will be recalled that the Comptroller General of the Customs, Bashir Adeniyi, had in April raised the alarm over terrorist activities around the Bambana border in Niger State, the community sharing border with Benin Republic. On Monday, security sources disclosed that the DSS, on getting an intelligence that the terrorists riding several motorcycles were advancing to attack Iburu and neighboring villages, quickly alerted soldiers on standby. One of the sources explained that there was a gunfire between the troops and terrorists, adding that at least 45 terrorists were gunned down during the encounter. He added that 2 operatives also paid the supreme price, while 4 others were injured. Now, away from security matters, Governor Ahmadu Umar Fintiri of Adamawa State has reaffirmed his government's commitment to supporting communities devastated by recent flooding in Yola South local government area. On a visit to the affected areas where many residents have been displaced and are now taking refuge in temporary camps, the governor expressed deep sorrow over the loss of 23 lives. He offered heartfelt condolences to the grieving families and assured them of government support. To ensure a long-term response to the crisis, Governor Fintiri announced the formation of a technical committee that will work closely with the National Emergency Management Agency and the Adamawa State Emergency Management Agency. The team's mandate is to assess the root causes of the flooding and develop a robust plan to prevent future occurrences. Amidst public speculation linking the disaster to illegal mining activity, the governor addressed the rumors head-on. He dismissed those claims, instead pointing to human-induced problems such as buildings erected on waterways and blocked drainage channels as major contributors to the flooding.
There is no dam that has caused this situation, problem. Yes, there was a heavy downpour, which we had flow of water from the mountain. But what actually happened, which is there for everyone to see, is that all the water canals and stormwater drainage that were constructed beautifully in this area were blocked, and the waterways blocked by people who have built illegal houses on them. To some extent that there are some bourgeois that have even blocked the waterway just for their own interest. This is exactly what has happened. And when the water could not find its way into the river, it has to cause the destruction it has caused. And now we are here crying. Unfortunately, we lost 23 of our students for reasons that are unreasonably done by some unpatriotic citizens. It's just unfortunate, but we will make sure we address it in no time.
Now, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, has forecasted rainy and thundery weather conditions across the country from Monday to Wednesday, warning of possible flash floods in some areas. NIMET's weather outlook released on Sunday in Abuja predicted thunderstorms with moderate rainfall on Monday morning over parts of Jigawa, Zamfara, Kano, Kaduna, Bauchi, Yobe and Katsina states in the northern region. It said in the central region, cloudy skies are anticipated in the morning with light to moderate rainfall expected in parts of Niger, Benue, the Federal Capital Territory FCT, Plateau and Nasarawa states. NIMET also noted a high risk of flash flooding in parts of Plateau State. For the southern region, cloudy skies will be expected in the morning with light to moderate rainfall predicted in parts of Ondo, Imo, Abia, Enugu, Ebonyi, Anambra, Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Cross River, and Akwa Ibom states later in the day. Similar conditions with sunny skies and patches of clouds are expected in the northern, southeast, and south-south regions, with moderate rain over parts of Adamawa, Taraba, Yobe, Kaduna, Bauchi, Gombe, Jigawa, Katsina, and Kano states. It advised the public to avoid driving during heavy rains, ensure vulnerable individuals dress warmly due to low nighttime temperatures, and take precautions against strong winds that might precede thunderstorms. Traders plying their trade adjacent the railway station in Jos, the Plateau State capital, have demonstrated over what they describe as illegal plan to demolish their shops by the management of the railway station. The traders said the planned demolition was against a valid court order, halting any attempt at dislodging them from their business area pending the determination of the suit filed by the traders against the railway station. Chairman of the traders at the market, Rabiu Muhammad, while briefing journalists in Jos, argued that none of them is trading close to the railway, adding that they legally occupied the shops more than 20 years ago as the land was leased to them by the railway authorities some years back. The market chairman further told journalists that they have filed a suit and secured an injunction ordering the management to halt the planned eviction and demolition. Contacted on the development, the public relations officer of railway station in Jos, Adamu Muhammad, declined comments, saying he was not authorized to speak on the matter. The National Working Committee (NWC) of the Social Democratic Party (SDP) has announced the rejection and 30-year banishment of former Kaduna State Governor Nasir Ahmad El-Rufai from the party. The party's decision followed what it described as El-Rufai's continued misrepresentation of his membership status, despite publicly claiming on social media that he had joined the SDP. The party said he failed to officially register at his ward as required by law. According to a statement issued in Abuja by the party's National Publicity Secretary, Araba Rufus Ayenigba, El-Rufai's public appearances with suspended SDP officials and some leaders of the party created a false impression of his affiliation. The NWC said it had initially given him the benefit of the doubt, but confirmed through internal inquiries that he never joined the SDP. The party listed several findings to support its position, including El-Rufai's alleged self-registration without ward-level approval, misuse of the party's name in political dealings, and attempts to destabilize internal structures. The SDP also accused him of proposing a high-profile welcome event at the National Secretariat, which was declined, and of presenting himself as the first registered member of the Ungwesariki ward in Kaduna North local government area, despite contrary records. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited (NNPCL) is considering the sale of the Warri, Port Harcourt, and Kaduna refineries. This potential sale is part of a review process initiated due to the complexities and challenges associated with rehabilitating these aging facilities, which have struggled with inefficiency and mismanagement. Yusuf Akogo reports.
The decisions on whether to sell the refineries was echoed recently by the GCO of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited and NPCL. The GCO's comment came few days after Africa's richest man and president of Dangote Group, Aliko Dangote, said the refineries may never work again. The move, however, is not going down well with some experts in the oil and gas sector. They speak on the potential impact on job security and the local economy.
These refineries can work for 100 years. They have just worked, like Kaduna, just about 40-something years with good management. When they earmark money for the repair, all they need to do is to have sincerity, trustworthiness, and honesty.
We didn't think that one day, one Nigerian as an individual can run an enterprise that will build the size of refinery that we have that is even upgraded to 700,000 barrels per day. So if that has happened, the NPCL refineries can also work. And they can only work with very clearly defined roadmap on how to make the refineries work. Our refineries are young.
Key stakeholders in the oil and gas industry are calling for a balanced approach involving collaboration, strong regulatory oversight, and a commitment to fair competition in the domestic market.
We don't need to wake up in the morning and say, oh, price has gone up or price has gone down. And of course, it's a very big discouragement to us. It is depleting our capital that we invest money to buy maybe 45,000 liters of PMS and or diesel, and then we have put in almost 50 million naira. And then by the time you finish selling the product, your profit margin is as little as 500,000.
Somebody said he will bring the products direct to your filling station without putting cost of the transportation. Then automatically we're happy.
Some analysts have suggested that selling the refineries could be a viable option, particularly given the substantial investment made with limited success.
This 3 billion that they spent, they could build 30 refineries, modular refineries with this 3 billion. Because each modular refinery that will give you 20,000 barrels a day requires $75 million. If you need catalytic converter to produce refined PMS, $100 million. They could have built 30.
The final decision will depend on the outcome of the ongoing review, which is expected to be completed before the end of the year. Yusuf Akogun, Trust Television News, Abuja.
This is news update on Trust TV coming up ahead. Maidan Orile residents isolated for 3 years demand bridge repairs. This and many more when we return. To stay with us. Welcome back from the break. In case you're just joining, this is news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Insecurity crisis deepens in Katsina as displaced residents flood Bakuri. And Governor Fintiri visits flood victims in Yola South, pledges support and mitigation measures. Now moving on to more stories, it has been 3 years since the collapse of the pedestrian bridge that once connected Teledalase and other CDAs in the Maidan Orile community to the bustling Mile 12 area. Located in Ikosi Sherry local government area of Lagos State, the residents of Maidan Orile have been left stranded, cut off from basic services, safety and opportunity. The report.
Residents of Maidan Orile, a remote community in Lagos State, are raising alarm over years of neglect, worsening security, and the collapse of a vital bridge that has cut them off from essential services and commercial access. Speaking on behalf of the community, the chairman of the Imole Oluwa Community Development Association lamented the dire state of infrastructure and security in the area.
Our community, Maidan Orile here, no government intervention. All what we have here, private, primary, nursery school, everything is private. No government intervention, no hospital, nothing whatsoever about government intervention at all here. But what's really happened? Our problem here, major problem now, is bridge. Our bridge collapsed about 3 years ago, July. 3 years ago, the collapse. You can see the bridge on the something. So that's what is happening.
A student of Ogudu Senior Grammar School, Mary Falaye, raised emotional appeal to the Lagos State government over the persistent flooding in her community, which she says is severely affecting her education and the lives of many others.
Concerning this water, it has been hard for us. Sometimes we won't go to school because of this water flood issue.
Speaking to Trust TV, residents of the area said they rely on boats as their only means to transportation due to the lack of motorable road or pedestrian bridge.
When it comes to flood, there's a lot of properties that gets wasted. People's houses, they have to run away from their house, or just so they can find a place to, lay their head, because definitely water will enter their house. So I'm using this means to beg the government that they should please intervene for us, because we don't have any other means to move out of this community. We need a road. We need a motorable road. We need a pedestrian bridge as well, so that it's not even conducive for children. Little children as much as 1 year old inside the boats. When the flood, like when the water rises more than this, it's always very scary.
It's affecting us seriously. Both the children going to school, both we adults going out. It's not easy for us. It's not everybody that is used to water. We are just managing it because we don't have option. That's why we are going through it.
Business is good. Only be say we don't have a special road to enter this community. We are entering boats every day. It's not be easy.
The plant of Maidano Relay stands as a powerful symbol of the deep infrastructure challenges facing many underserved communities in Lagos. With no access road, no functional bridge, and no healthcare facility, residents continue to endure hardship, risking their lives just to meet basic needs.
And now in business, there are indications that Nigerians are fast relegating cash transactions to the background as the value of electronic payment transactions skyrockets. According to the latest report released by the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, NIBSS, value of electronic payments transactions grew year-on-year by 24% to 317.2 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2025 from 255.69 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2024. NIBSS instant payments recorded the highest value of transactions, growing by 21.5% to 285 trillion naira from 234.49 trillion naira. The reports further showed that the value of mobile money operations, automated clearing house transactions, check transactions, as well as points of sale all grew in the period under review. Now, away from Nigeria, dozens of aid trucks moved through Egypt's Sinai Peninsula on Sunday toward the Kerem Shalom crossing for inspection before entering Gaza, according to Egypt's state-run Al Qahira News. The movement aligns with a new daily 10-hour tactical pulse in Israeli military operations across Gaza City, Deir al-Bala and Mawasi, starting at 10 a.m. each day. The pulse is intended to boost humanitarian aid flow amid growing global concern over hunger and increasing criticism of Israel's conduct in the 21st-month conflict. Despite the pause, aid agencies say deliveries remain insufficient, averaging only 69 trucks per day, far below the 500 to 600 trucks needed to prevent famine. And in sports, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has conferred national honors of Officer of the Order of the Niger, OON, on players of the Super Falcons following their victory at the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, WAFCON. In addition to the honors, the president also announced the Naira equivalent of $100,000 for each of 24 players and $50,000 for members of the technical team. A presidential reception was held in their honor, celebrating their triumph and contributions to Nigerian football. And with that, we wrap up news updates on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our social media platforms for more programs, news, and documentaries. My name is Dorcas Yakubuzala. Bye for now.